Hi, I'm Kristen Holloway, and this is Michael Godwin.
Hello.
We're here today to talk about how instruments make sound. So, if you've ever wondered when you're listening to the radio or if you've gone to a concert and you hear all these different types of instruments, have you ever wondered how is that sound created? We're going to talk a little bit today about how that occurs and with each instrument.
Yes, and there's two main parts of it. One, the sound wave has to be generated or created, and then through the instrument, whatever it is, it gets brought to life and transported to our ears through that magic sound wave. So each instrument has a different way to create the sound and to transport it. So in this case, this is an acoustic guitar, and we generate the sound by striking the string, either with just our fingers or a pick itself. And once we've struck the string, generated the actual wave, the instrument itself brings that wave to life. And then in this case, a sound hole helps amplify it or send it out, carry it to us so our ears can hear it. So it generates here, gets created, and then transports to us.
And then it's coming to us through this sound hole. Now, what about other stringed instruments, like the mandolin?
Good question. Yes, mandolins and violins and other string instruments have their own other versions of sound holes, ways to let the sound out. In this case, the mandolin has what they call an F-shaped sound hole. They call those F holes, and there's two of them on each side instead of one big round hole in the middle. Now they aren't, and then later we'll talk about the banjo, and its sound holes are around the side of the resonator, which let it sound out. So yes, this is a mandolin, and it sounds like violin because they're in the same family, and they use the same tuning of the strings. However, a violin uses a bow to generate that or create that wave, whereas a mandolin uses a pick, much like the guitar, to create the wave. So you can still hear it being transported from the instrument created, but through these other types of sound holes. And so most instruments have a way to send that sound to you in their own unique way, whether it be an F hole or a round hole, or maybe multiple holes on a woodwind instrument.
So the flute's a little bit different. Of course, you can see it doesn't have any strings. So how I get the wave to start is through using my breath on the mouthpiece. So much like a Coke bottle or soda bottle, you would take your mouthpiece here and you direct the air into the instrument, and then it travels through the tube of the flute, and then it's basically the music or the note is sent out through these sound holes and at the bottom of the flute. So in this case, you'll see. And the differences from a low pitch to a high pitch is basically just having to do with the way that I am directing the air in the mouthpiece.
Beautiful. So we mentioned the banjo a little bit earlier, and it can use a flat pick, a pick as well, to generate its sound. They call that plectrum style, technically. Or we can use what we call finger picks, and that's the style I use. And I'm using actual picks that go on my finger. This is the thumb pick. And then there's two of these smaller metal ones. They're called finger picks because my index and my middle finger. And they look kind of like this. And they wrap on your finger. So I use these to strike the strings. So now I'm getting three notes instead of just one pick, so I can pick a little faster. Strings with these finger picks. Now you might notice the banjo seems pretty loud in comparison because it has this tight skin head, much like a drum, that really pushes the sound out even more, and even louder in our case, as it resonates the sound. So much like a drum head, it gets pulled down very tight, and the tighter you pull it down, the more it reacts and pushes that sound out even louder. So this head, for lack of better terms, is called a membrane, and that's how drums generate their sound as well. I have a little drum right here that has a membrane head on it. Let me show you it. It's called the tabla. Oh, that looks like the very same way. It has a little head, has these little brackets that pull it down, make it tighter, lower. That starts the sound, and then it has a resonation hole chamber, a sound hole to let the sound out. So we strike it by hitting it, and it comes out the back. Any thoughts about resonating chambers and percussion instruments?
Well, I would think that possibly if you have, I've noticed that sometimes with percussion, there's different sizes. And does that do anything with the tone at all?
Yeah, if you have a large head, it's usually lower. So if you think about the big bass drums, boom, boom, they sound low because it's a big membrane that resonates versus a snare drum, which is smaller and higher pitch. Has a tighter membrane and a smaller membrane. So usually the smaller they are, the higher pitch they are, and the bigger they are, the lower pitch they are. All right. This, what they call the fish, the gyro is the technical name of it. Its membrane is built right into it. It's an actual floating piece of wood that they've drilled 2 holes to let the sound out. And we can hear how this guy sounds like this.
And this is a tambourine. Has a membrane on it too.
Mm-hmm. This is actually a skinhead. This is an older tambourine.
Or you can
Shake it, yeah.
vibration. Think about movies that you've watched, or you know, something that's trying to create a mood or a sound, and you know, and percussion instruments are often used for that.
Yeah, definitely. So that's how these instruments create a sound and bring it to life and bring that sound wave to your ears, either through transporting through the body instruments, through the vocal cords they sing, through the mouthpiece of a woodwind, or the membranes of a percussion instrument.
Now, once you create a sound wave, then the idea with all of this instrumentation is to actually create some music, something that somebody wants to listen to.
You want to demonstrate a little music?
So why don't we demonstrate that?
Alrighty. You want to do one round of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do Amazing Grace.
One.
And that, as you can see, creates a song.
Thank you so much for hanging with us today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we hope we see you soon.